Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Vires versus KMT. This is, of course, the Weplay Invitational quarter-finals. The winner of this will advance to the semi-finals. I am Nature, I'm joined by Metis, and this is proving to be quite an interesting series so far.
Yes, definitely. Very different Game 1 and Game 2 though. Game 1 went to 55, nearly 56 minutes, whereas Game 2 was a bit of a stomp, honestly, from KMT that took an early advantage and ran home with it. As you can see, the picks and bans have came through thick and fast. Oriana, Vi, Lucian, Nidalee, Kassadin, and Elise have all been taken away, and again, Annie is going to be that first pick lock-in. I am assuming that's going to be the support, but interestingly enough here, Nature, Mundo was not banned, and I wouldn't be too surprised if Xaxis went for it again.
Yeah, although I'm not too sure whether he had such a great impact on the game last game around, because, well, of course he had a great run, but I'm not too sure whether he was the one who won it for his team, as he did almost as good, I would say, on the Olaf earlier. So they will be just looking. I'll just be looking for what they go right now, as we do have the Fiddlesticks and the Caitlyn being picked up here for KMT, and on the other side the Evelyn for the other team this time around, and Coralius picking up the Ziggs.
So that is an interesting first three lock-ins here for KMT, because usually when you see an Annie or a Fiddlesticks, they're going to be going support. Having both of them on the team, that could very well be an Annie mid, for example, or it could be a Fiddlesticks in the jungle, something we haven't seen for a pretty long time. So definitely one to watch out for. I'm sure those questions will be answered with the final two picks here for KMT. But on the flip side, Evelyn, who was used to great effect in that first game, as we saw coming in from Janko, so I believe finished on about 7 for 1, had a death fire grasp very early on. They're going to go for the Ziggs again, as they did in the first game, and potentially we could see a Jinx at bot.
Yeah, they have locked in the Jinx for now, as Mazarin has locked himself in, or has locked the support NBS LoL, the Janna in, so they will be looking for a little bit of some disengage in the bottom lane, and of course those superior healing capabilities with the Monsoon. And on the other side, Silver now hovering over a Thresh, which would surprise me very much.
Lol, what?
Yeah, indeed.
If that's a Thresh, that's probably Annie mid and Fiddlesticks jungle.
Yeah.
That's what I would go for, if Thresh gets locked in.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, as Vander is throwing all ideas off the table, as he is hovering over the Kha'Zix. Silver switching out to the Dr. Mundo, which would make a little bit more sense. And they will probably be locking in, or as he changes to the Shyvana. So it is going to be Shyvana and Kha'Zix, probably Kha'Zix jungle then and Shyvana top, but they could easily change that one around, as right now it's Miramax's turn to pick a champion, and I believe they would still need a top laner at this point.
This is really interesting, because I know that Xaxis plays a very good Shyvana. Saw it in DreamHack, he ran it 2 times around the semi-finals, won both games and absolutely crushed the opposition. So I would expect to see Xaxis running Shyvana at top lane. And that would therefore mean that more than likely we would see Kha'Zix in the mid from Overpower, and then you'd probably have Fiddlesticks in jungle with Annie running support. I'm just saying, I'm throwing it out there, I could be completely off here, and they go for something different. But that's my first impressions. On the other side though, as you say, final pick coming in here from the side of Vires, and it looks as though it will be their top laner. So this is a sticky one. This is a very difficult situation, I've got to say, for Vires, because all of those picks on the opposite side, they can't be sure where they're going. So they're really on the tiptoes here, guessing if and nothing else.
Yeah, it would surprise me though to see a support Kha'Zix, but for now they have opted to put Janko's. What? Oh, I thought Janko's was running the Fiddlesticks jungle, but he has picked himself up the Kha'Zix jungle now, as they continuously swapping out, as they are continuously swapping out champions for now, but it seems to have cooled down for now. Janko is going jungle then. Zaz is going top and Vander going support. And that means Overpower is going Annie mid versus the Ziggs. That is going to be interesting. How do you think both of those players are going to fare in that middle lane?
Well, Ziggs is going to be able to harass a lot easier than Annie will, but one of the great things about Annie is that if you land her Q and finish off a minion, you spend no mana. So if you can manage to get those stacks through and get the passive working, then it could definitely be a case of the mid going very one-sided in Overpower's favour. Plus the fact that Overpower relishes snowballing. We saw this when he played Kayle at DreamHack. He was 4-0 at one point and absolutely carried the game across Kassadin last time around. Of course, he was doing a very good job as well. So quite an interesting one. He's gone for the teleport. So again, similar to his Kassadin play, he's probably going to be teleporting down bottom with his stun up, land a Tibbers, and look to pick up a couple of free kills.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we will be heading into game 3 shortly. Don't go anywhere because this is going to be extremely interesting. Draw.
Take my hand and lead me away to another place, just you and me. I don't wanna fall in love tonight, 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 tonight.
Hello and welcome back to the Weplay Invitational quarterfinals matchup between Ultra Vires and KMT. We are now on the Rift and alive. We had a brief pause, so apologies for the delay. I met us joined by Nature. We enter this the third out of a potential 5 games here between Ultra Vires and KMT. Currently resides at a 1-1 scoreline.
Yeah, so we are going to have at least 4 games in total, and right now nothing really happening for now. Overpow has of course charged up his stun to make something happen if they decide to invade on the Ultra Vires side, and that is going to be extremely painful if they decide to do so. Sorry about that, because a 4-man stun is horrendous at a level 1.
Well, it certainly is, and I think that will be playing in the back of the minds here from Ultra Vires. They don't want to be getting landed on by all of that stun and the follow-up damage, because you've also got the Terrify to deal with at level 1, although looks like the Dark Wind's actually been picked up at 1 here. Vander has caught himself out. Miramax firing off that Dark Wind. Going to be doing a bit of poke damage, but the Eye of the Storm, the shield coming in from Corralius will be enough to mitigate a lot of that damage. But with them actually weakening away from Miramax, they may come in for the blue steal.
All those wards in there, yeah, they might indeed go in here for that blue steal. Miramax is not at 100% HP, so that might start to get dangerous if he decides to stay along for too long. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we do have Azazes and NBS Low poking each other a little bit, but there's no casualties going to fall there, as we will probably, yeah, there you have it, the blue buff going over to Jankos, as we will have Alanir going over to the enemy's blue buff, or KMT's blue buff, and try and steal that one away, but we do have Overpower and Jankos heading there very, very quickly, but I do think Alanir will probably be picking this one up.
Well, they are backing on away. Luna has taken that blue buff away. We're not going to have any lane switch-ups. Last time we saw both duo lanes occupying mid. That's not going to be the case. I do like the pickup of Jan here from Corralius, because Fiddlesticks is going to be able to get interrupted when his life drains off. The Eye of the Storm is going to come in great use when the poke comes in as well from Selva, and plus of course if that Crow Storm is procced off at level 6 from Fiddlesticks, you are going to see that Monsoon instantly pushing them away. So I do like this combination, lots of damage as well on the cards, but for the early levels in particular, Nature, it's going to be pretty brutal for Miramax and Corralius to deal with. There's a lot of poke, a lot of harassment.
It certainly is. However, Miramax is so far proving to deal quite well with it, although Selver is around 5 CS ahead. He is trying to extend that as good as he can, but of course Miramax can farm quite good on that turret with his rockets, which will do splash damage, and therefore making him excel at farming under turrets. Mazarin, however, in that middle lane might be in trouble. Janko's looking for a pick here.
Yes, it's going to be a difficult one to deal with, especially this red buff. There's the stun, and here comes the burst damage afterwards. Satchel charge, and the flash being popped off, but here's the flash as well from Jankos, and the final auto attack will pick up the pieces. Could not have gone any better for KMT.
Yeah, there you have it. First blood going over to KMT. That last very slowly moving auto attack did manage to finish him off. Now Alanir tasked to defend this turret. That should not be a problem for him, even though he is facing off against 2 opponents of KMT, but I don't think he will be having any trouble defending that turret. Jankos does capitalize on that by taking out some raids rather.
And plus, on top of everything else, not just the first blood, but Overpower did not use his flash, and Mazarin did. So in terms of return ganks on the cards, Still, Annie is in a much better, safer position than Mazarin, who's actually looking like he could be on the recipient end of another gank. You can see Janko's just waiting in the shadows, waiting for that gank. The flash and the stun as well coming in from Annie, and again they're going to rinse and repeat. Nice play from Janko's, actually blocking out Ziggs, not allowing him to run past, and a double kill early on. Bot lane though, we are seeing more action kicking off as the teleport comes down from Overpower, who's looking to add another notch on his belt. There's the Terrify and a third kill for Overpower. As I said before, you do not want to let this guy get snowballing because he will punish you.
Action all over the board here. As Overpower, great use of that teleport, as he is, as we have seen last game, where he did use that teleport quite proficiently as well. And he has got himself 3 kills already, as he picks himself up the Sorcerer's Shoes of Distortion, which is going to benefit his damage quite greatly, as Mazarin is only sitting on 2 Doran's rings, and I don't think he can actually deal with the Annie at this point.
Yeah, and that's a distortion as well for Annie, so that's going to give a reduction on the cooldown of his teleport by 25%, looking to punish those other lanes much quicker. Plus the Sorc Shoes, so the magic penetration going to be coming in, and the maneuverability, and that's where Annie really thrives. She's quite a short-ranged AP carry, so having the extra maneuverability here in nature is going to allow Overpower to get in those positions to get the stun off and all the follow-up damage.
Meanwhile, in that top lane, we do have both of wow, I'm just losing my voice here live. Zazes and MBS Low butting their heads in that top lane. I don't think we will have a winner of that little skirmish quite yet, as Overpower, meanwhile in that top lane, overpowering Mazarin. I'm so good at these
Sure
puns.
did that.
Yeah, and Janko's looking to gank, maybe punishing Mazarin for that flash being used very early. And I do think that shouldn't be a problem, although Alanir is there in the vicinity.
It is, and don't worry about your voice. I know your feels right now, Nature, because I'm having a very similar experience. Here comes the flash and the Terrorwave though from Fiddlesticks. Fan is doing a lot of damage, and Overpower picks up his 4th consecutive kill. He has all the kills on the board. It just went from bad to absolutely worse as well from Ultra Vires, as Annie is completely tearing through their side.
Now, as you had seen at DreamHack, and as you stated earlier, when KMT managed to get ahead, they will wreck everything, and that is what they are showing to that is what they are showing right here, rather, as Overpower will be stealing away his enemy's blue buff. No blue buff for you, Ziggs. No problem at all for him, as they might just be heading towards that top lane. Although we do have Janko's recalling and Overpower just heading towards his bottom lane, towards his middle lane rather, and he will just continue to farm there, as Mazarin is going to have quite a hard time, even if he did not have one already.
And I mentioned before about the teleport having 25% cooldown reduction. Of course, I didn't even mention flash. So the flash tibbers are going to be coming in much faster as well. Coralius is going to be feared off. Terrifying has been used. Here comes the Howling Gale though, and now we're looking to pick up a return kill on Salva. So, and it's going to be the first kill for Ultra Vires, and again, it's going to be Evelyn taking that one down. So Aluna is going to hope to take a leaf out of Jankos' book from game number 2 and try and snowball this one forward.
Alright, so for now, everything just resetting a little bit. Vander might be in trouble here if he decides to stay for too long, although we still have Miramax and Coralius recalling. They will be picking up themselves some items, as we see Jinx taking off with the rocket there. So a couple of wards being picked up there for all of the members, or most of the members of that Ultra Vires team. Will be heading back in towards their lane. So a death on Silver, as he is around 10 CS ahead. So I think he'll be able to deal with it for now.
Yep, I think that certainly is going to be on the card. So let's take stock of what is happening across the board right now. Yes, we spoke a lot about Annie and how dominant Overpower's been in the mid lane. Has 1.5k to spend when he goes back to spawn, but also 1.4 on Shyvana, who's been having a pretty tough time at the top lane from Renekton's going to be bumping heads. In fact, not as he backs away. Bot lane though, let's have a quick look-see at this. So Caitlyn is 0 and 1. But is actually 9 CS ahead of Jinx, who has an assist, so it's by and large fairly even at the bot lane as well.
Yeah, Corrales showing his face. Vander looking to terrify him if he gets too close. Meanwhile, in that jungle, we do have Janko's almost getting caught. He uses the leap to get out of there. Great use of that leap once again. No problem for him, as I do think, yeah, he did manage to steal away that red buff. That is huge once again.
It is very big, and it's these small incremental advantages that starts to give a team a resounding lead. And that's where KMT in particular are so strong at stamping that one home. They got through to the finals of DreamHack without losing a single game. And that goes to show how dominant they were there. And they were also very dominant in that previous game that we just casted, Nature, after losing the first one. So they're looking to bounce back with a vengeance here.
Yeah, so meanwhile, in the top lane, Zaz is maybe looking to finish off MBS Law here. He uses the Flame Breath to get the mark on MBS Law. MBS Law recognizes the threat and just keeps a safe distance from Zaz's, if you will. And we do have Overpower heading towards that top lane, as he is not too sure whether he should go there. In recall being interrupted, MBS Law might be in real trouble here. Here comes Overpower. Dragon's Ascent being used, and he will be backing away safely there, as Zaz's did place him back under his turret.
Certainly worth it though, again from KMT, forcing that flash away. Dragon's Descent has nowhere near 300-second cooldown. Here comes Vander though from the side, it's going to be a 3 vs 3 situation as Jankos jumps on in, finds the Luna though, while the Luna spawns in. Here comes a Crowstorm, Mega Inferno Bomb is not going to be landing on anything. Crowstorm's doing quite a bit of damage, but not enough to force any kills. The flash has been used, here comes Overpower though with the teleport and flash combination to pick up his 5th kill, and he's absolutely rocking this game. They're going to look to take the tower off the back of this as well, and I honestly don't think there's too much that Ultra Vires can do about this. In fact, they're going to back away instead and potentially go for the dragon.
Yeah, I would think the dragon would be worth it at this point, as that will be going down fairly quickly, as they will be with 4 men rushing that one down. Nothing at all Ultra Vires can do about it at this point, and that will be going down within a couple of seconds. Alanir might be in trouble here if Jankos decides to get too close to him, but he will just be backing away, and everything resets as we get into a little bit of a lull in the game once again. But to oh, sorry, I don't think this lull will take too long before something explodes.
Yeah, mainly the bottom tower. Actually, the flash terrify again coming in from Vander. Is Corrales going to be able to keep his AD carry alive? Ace the hole comes through. Will be blocking that one away. Zaz's Jankos, I should say, jumping back in, will claim that kill. Now looking to rinse and repeat onto Corrales, who's taking so much damage. But now here comes Oluna from the backside. That's going to force them away. They do get the kill, and they should get the tower as well. Also important to mention here, Annie's yet to go back and has 3,000 gold. So that's just going to be terrifying when she comes back into mid lane.
Alright, she has back now. She buys herself rather, a needlessly large rod and a Fiendish Codex, which is going to sting against Mazarin, and Mazarin really is not looking forward to that, I imagine.
Well, it's just the case now, if it wasn't bad enough before, the burst potential from Annie is just astronomically huge. And Ziggs has to be super careful because that Chalice of Harmony is not going to keep him alive for very long. Does have 1.4k gold to spend though, so could be looking to finish off that Athene's and Holy Grail, which is going to mitigate some of the magic damage coming out from Overpower, but still, the damage is absolutely insane. Top lane, Jankos is thinking about trying to pick up a kill. Here comes the Dragon's Descent. On top of that, Jankos is chasing down, will be slowing down with the Void Spikes. Ignite's been used as well. Dominus is up for MBS Law. Is it going to be enough to keep him alive? As he'll be using that Q, looks like he's going to be going down, but at the cost of potentially Jankos' life. Now Luna is chasing him down, doesn't have a great deal of mana to spend, however, will finally pick up the pieces. Mega Inferno Bomb comes in, and oh my god, Zazis nearly falls.
Yeah, he doesn't die quite yet, though, as we do have Overpower now trying to chase down Mazarin. Doesn't quite manage to find him, though, as Mazarin keeps a safe distance. Overpower actually using Tibers to push down this turret. That means the turret will be going down quite quickly, as Tibers is such a powerful pushing tool. But in the end, he backs away. That is quite significant, quite weird, if you'd ask me. But he will probably be going to defend his turret, as Mazarin is pushing quite hard in the middle lane himself.
Oh, sorry, I was kind of caught off by chat there saying that right now Ultra Vires needs Doran's Vaseline to deal with Annie. It just kind of made me chuckle a tiny bit. Regardless, back to the game, Crowstorm comes in from Vander, who's going to be looking to go into 2 vs 3. I'm not too sure about this play. The super mega death rocket comes through for Miramax. They're going to claim that kill, and Jinx will be getting excited but backing on away because some of it is a tiny bit too scary.
Yeah, he certainly is. As for now, Zaz's rather heading back towards his top lane. MBS Law has spotted him out, and he will not be making anything happen here. As meanwhile, we do have Janko stealing away that red buff. That is going to be painful for anyone who would want that on the Ultra Vires team. We do have, however, MBS Law heading over there. Jankos will find him, but he will probably just jump over the wall. No problem for him, and he'll back away safely. On the other side, however, Alanir heading towards KMT's red buff. Silver has spotted him out. This is going to be painful. And Piltover Peacemaker comes out. Ace and O comes out. There you go. Boom. Headshot down goes Alanir.
And that's going to be a red buff on top of it to Sullivan. So, again, a big passage of play for Sullivan and KMT. Deathfire Grasp has been finished off onto Annie, so that burst has just got a hell of a lot scarier. Top lane, NBS is being pushed back to his tower, and this is the KMT that I expected to see coming out in game number 1. Seem to have found their rhythm here and their flow, and now Overpower is looking to try and camp around the jungle and potentially catch somebody off. You can see Jankos and NBS Law going at it here, one-on-one. That's suddenly going to turn into a 3 versus 1. The stun comes down, NBS Law taking so much damage. Mega Infernal Bomb comes through, Overpower pick up the pieces to take down his 6th kill.
Beautiful flash right there out of Overpower as he manages to finish off MBS Law with a disintegrate, barely, just barely. Now Alanir smites away Tibbers, and Overpower will be backing away. Once again, he has got 6 skills on his name right now as he has finished off his Deathfire Grasp, and he will be picking himself up a blasting one on top of that. So right now we do have Jankos and Zazas finishing off this top turret. I don't think there's anything stopping them from finishing off this turret, and I do think that will just increase their lead even more. Of course it will.
I can't really see how they're going to be stopped full stop though here. Like, you know, just going forwards. I mean, how do you contend with Overpower, who's super fed? Caitlyn's getting pretty big. Jankos has picked up a few kills, and Shyvana's been free to get farmed. So just across the board, KMT looking super strong. Yes, Jinx has a kill and a BF sword, but is that going to be enough to stop Overpower? I honestly don't think so. Jinx will get burst in a heartbeat with that full combo.
Alright, so Zazas finds NBS Law here. He will probably be stealing away these golems. Ooh, nice slice and dice there out of NBS Law as he finishes off the golems himself. Meanwhile, nothing really happening at this point, aside from Zaz's obviously trying to push down the third. Alanir is here to reinforce MBS Law, but I don't think they can actually make anything at all happen on the Zaz's. As for now, Janko's almost find Corralius, but he really should not go in at this point because Miramax is there as well. Corralius might just find Janko here.
Yeah, Tibbers comes in, Mega Infernal Bomb will be shutting down. Well, alongside Renekton, but here comes Jankos from the side. How much can they get back in return? Can they manage to trade this one out? Jankos being forced to flash away and leap away. He's gone full damage, so he's very squishy still. That's certainly one way that you bounce back. If you can take Overpower out first, it's definitely looking pretty good. Burn everything to try and claim the kill there. Flash comes through from Corralius, and the Zap and Howling Gale will not be landing, but that is going to push them away long enough, Nature, for this potential dragon pickup.
Yeah, Silver throwing in that ace, no, and near real trouble. Miramax tanks it for him. Dragon going down to Ultra Vires. Now Silver might be in trouble as they are trying to chase him down. They back away in the end as Jankos and Vander show themselves to the party as well. Here's the cavalry. Miramax forced to flash in the end. Jankos now trying to chase down Corralius, and MBS Law as Overpower almost died. Super Mega Death Rocket comes through. Zap being used. Janko's now trying to chase him down. Good terrifying Nazarene. He goes down. Recess force enable Jankos to get out instantly, and that enables them to start pushing on this bottom lane turret.
They get the dragon, but it looks as though they're going to lose this middle tower. So not necessarily the greatest passage of play from Ultra Vires. And indeed, Zazas will be pushing this one down. And they're going to be recalling right now with a fair chunk of change to spend. 1.5 on Sullivan, so he's going to be finishing off the potential Static Shiv. I would expect to see Static Shiv up next. Jankos is being chased down from Aluna, will be picked up there after the tower falls in mid.
Yeah, no problem for Aluna at all, as Jankos was overstaying his welcome a little bit too much, if you'd ask me. As we do have Zazas right now heading towards that top lane to clear out that wave. We do have, of course, MVS heading towards him as well. So he will probably not start and split push this for too long, as MVS low is going to deter him from that for as long rather as he can. Meanwhile, Alanir stealing away this blue buff, and that might just be trouble for Overpower, but he, of course, had his very own blue buff stolen from Mazarin.
Yep, this blue buff about a third of the way done. So he's going to be okay for the time being. Meanwhile, Evelyn is coming up. Luna after picking up that blue buff. Dominance has been used. Dragon's Ascent still available. There we go. Has been popped as well. Plus the flash is up. So, yeah, Gang comes in. They force the ultimate, but not really a big deal from Zazas. He has the cavalry coming in, charging down in the form of Overpower, who's coming through, going to be flashing Death Firegrass. Tibbers as well. So much burst damage, but they haven't been able to take down the kill on the Luna. Here comes a Mega Inferno Bomb. That's going to be enough to push them away, but a Luna, my goodness, had literally 50 hit points remaining.
Yeah, he did almost go down there in the end, but that was so close. I was cringing right there because Alanir should have gone down there. If this were bronze, and there would probably been at least 5 times the word. Sorry, Vander goes down here in the bottom lane. That is going to be trouble for them, but I was talking about the word lucker, as right now Junko's trying to get away there, and that enables, of course, Vires to make something happen here.
Yep, they're going to be forcing back this onslaught. They keep that tower still relatively healthy, but still, it's a case of KMT and they're not letting up. This is a very claustrophobic environment right now for Vires. They can't push down past the river, and therefore they're being choked out slowly but surely. The goal difference isn't necessarily huge, but there's no way for them to get objectives here, Nature. Even if they get a kill or two, they're way too far on the back foot to make anything happen out of it.
Yeah, so Janko's trying to deny as much vision as he can right now. Zazas might be in trouble as he's being chased down by Alanir and MBS. Zazas goes in with the Dragon's Ascent. Alanir in trouble as Jankos joins the party. He goes in, Alanir goes down first. MBS low now in trouble as we do have Mazarin joining the party as well. So he does force Zazas and Jankos to back away. No deaths on that side of the rift for now, as MBS low almost went down, but they did pick up Alanir though.
Yep, they do get the 1-for-0 trade again, which is leaving KMT in a very favourable position. They've got a lot of gold as well. You know, every time I seem to check the gold tally, Annie has about 2,000 to spend. So, maybe going for that Rabadon's death cap next up. Not entirely sure. Only time is going to tell. Celifer has gone for that static shift second, as you'd expect most Caitlyn's to do, because the wave pushing potential is absolutely huge. Piltover Peacemaker into static shift proc is pretty much the entire creep wave dying. So you can see right now, there's really nothing that Vires can do. Jinx is going to be quite scary with that last Whisper and Bloodthirster, but it's a case, can they keep her alive long enough? Because there's so much burst damage on the side of KMT. They've got Jankos jumping in, full attack damaged up Kha'Zix, and then overpowers Annie. Is going to be destroying faces.
Alright, so Celifer and Vander right now trying to push out this bottom lane. Corralius is heading towards them. Miramax is standing by to defend, so they will not be going any further than that halfway line, or that brush Miramax was camping in. So right now Janko's maybe looking for something to happen here. Alanir did spot him out with a ward, but Janko's did spot the ward himself, so they will be clearing that one out with the help of Vander. So for now, Corralius maybe trying to get a pick on Overpower as he gets caught.
He does, but here comes a Crow Storm from Vander, instantly pushing everyone away. Will be terrifying on NPS. How much damage can they do? That's Renekton, who instantly gets popped for half his hit points. So again goes to show how much damage they have on the table. I was thinking, will he go for Abaddon's Death Cap? Goes to Void Staff next. Very smart pickup here from Overpower, realizing there's a lot of magic resist on the opposite side. So he wants to be able to chunk through that with the Soak Shoes and the Void Staff plus the Deathfire Grasp.
Right now, Vander and Celifer desperately trying to get away. Howling Gale knocks off Vander. He gets slowed by the Zap. Bouncing Bomb comes in, but Celifer is trying to deter them. And Celifer does manage to do so for long enough. We did have the Super Mega Death Rocket coming in as well. Vander did get that one blocked out for him by Celifer, as right now both teams are trying to contest this blue buff. Ooh, Janko's forced to leap out of there rather, and it is looking like the blue buff is going over to Vires.
Yep, they will pick that up, which is a small victory, because Mazarin desperately needs those blue buffs to constantly spam away. 0-3 right now, but has okay-ish CS, is actually ahead of Annie, as we saw in that first game. I believe it was like, what, Nature 500 at 40 minutes or something crazy on Ziggs? Ridiculous CSing.
Yeah, that was indeed really, really weird amounts of CS almost, because I don't think I've seen that before at these levels of play. So right now, meanwhile, in the top lane, Zaz is trying to push that tower as fast as he can. MBS Law is a little bit too tanky for the damage that Zaz can put out at this point, so he will not be taking that turret down. Meanwhile, you do have Vander spotting out that dragon try from Ultra Vires. They will be taking that one down. Vander can do nothing at all about that, as meanwhile Overpower has joined the party, but he is all too little, all too late, and the dragon goes over to Ultra Vires.
Well, I thought for a second that Overpower was going to teleport onto this ward next to Blue Bar and try and land a Tibbers and start that engage off, but not to be. They're allowing them to back on away, maybe trying to pick up this middle tower instead. There's 4 players from KMT are pushing this while systematically Zazes is pushing top, as you can see right there. Renekton flashing up red with the Dragon's Descent, Dragon Form out from Shyvana, so lots of harassment being put down. That is going to equate into this middle tower falling. That's 4 for 0 on towers, so even though, you know, Ultra Vires have been pulling out some plays and they get kills again. To reiterate the point I made before, they're getting no objectives, and that's the important part.
Yeah, and on top of that, MBS Law has used his flash, so he really cannot get into the fray as much as he would used to when a team fight occurs. So we will not be able to dive on Saliver if Saliver manages to get out far enough. Meanwhile, Corrali is clearing out as much wards as he can, but I don't think he's really going to help. Of course, he's helping, but I don't think that is going to matter too much, as we might just see KMT just grouping up and maybe going for an objective here.
Well, it's definitely been the way they've been playing thus far in this game, is they try and get a pick and then convert it instantly into an objective, and I see no reason for them to change that up now. So again, Ultra Vires, similar to game number 2, they've managed to last a bit longer. Game number 2 went to 23 minutes, I believe. They're still in this matchup, but they're definitely second best all across the board. So again, it's a case of, will KMT go for the jugular? Are they going to try and make these split push plays? Because that's where I feel they're at their strength, especially with the Shyvana. Very difficult to duel, and then very difficult to lock down because of the Dragon's Descent and the flash as well. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see Overpower push bot, while at the same time Shyvana goes top, and you get this 1-3-1 formation with the rest of them in mid. Silver has been caught, however, though. There's the Talisman of Ascension instantly utilized from Vander, but there's the Mega Inferno Bomb. It's enough to pick up the kill on Silver. My goodness, that burst damage.
Yeah, that was insane. It just blew up Saliver almost instantly. Now we do have Ultra Vires trying to make something happen here within that small window they have, which within which Saliver is dead. Of course, we do have, however, Zaz is heading over towards that middle lane. So here comes the Crossroom. Cleanse being used by by Miramax rather, and here is Overpower. He is trying to do as much as he can. Mazarin gets caught by Zazes. In the meantime, Overpower being chased down. He goes down to Alanir. Right now, we do have Jankos being chased down as well. Zazes being chased down. This is a huge turnaround for Ultra Vires, and Vander almost goes down. He doesn't quite go down yet, but they might just continue this push on Ultra Vires' side.
Yeah, the real issue right now for KMT is that they have no peel. Like, if Shyvana goes in to dive the backlines of Ultra Vires, who's going to peel for Annie? Who's going to peel for Saliver? They're pretty much left on their own. You saw that Annie being chased by 2 or 3 players, gets killed instantly, and then all of that 6 for 1, as the case was before, scoreline is for nothing. If you can nuke Overpower down, it simply ceases to be a problem. So, going forward in this game, I think that's going to be KMT's main issue. They have no peel for their carries.
Yeah, that is indeed not incredibly good for them, of course, as they really would want to have that peel. And Saliver, well, he can use his, of course, his 60 and his 90 caliber net, rather, as that would deter any pursuers for a little while, but then again, they will probably jump on him right afterwards, because he really has no escape, as you said. So right now, Saliver and Jankos trying to scan out this jungle, as we might have MBS Law in trouble here. Jankos just found him.
He has, but will NBS Law be falling down? Dominus is not available, but he is too tanky right now. Spirit Visage and Sunfire Cape with Merc Treads, so he'll be able to back on away without too many problems. He does, however, now have 4 versus 2. That's going to be Ace in the hole, firing through, again lands. Dominus is now available, so he's going to be a bit tankier. And with Corralius coming down to put down the Eye of the Storm, they need to be careful here. Maybe that last fight was enough to kick KMT up the backside and say, okay, 5 versus 5 we're a bit susceptible, let's get this split pushing on.
Yeah, in the bottom lane, however, Overpower has started to split push. He has got his teleport available, so he can join his team at any given time. Now, I don't think he will do so right now, of course, as a team fight hasn't broken out quite yet. Overpower will just start and split push in that bottom lane, and he will be forcing anyone or just someone of the team of Ultra Viruses to head over to that bottom lane, or rather middle lane, to deal with him, and at that point he can just teleport in and decimate the Ultra Virus team.
But this is the other problem with KMT as well. Typically when they play, their split pusher is Xaxus. He's playing Shyvana, which is a great split pusher, but he's the only tank on his team. So if he goes to split push, he's leaving a very vulnerable remainder of 4 players that have to deal with Renekton jumping in, with all the burst damage that Mazarin's putting down, and then the raw speed of a Luna. How can you deal with that? And now you can see that Xaxus is occupying the top lane, trying to stop things from happening, while Annie and the rest of the squad are pushing down mid. Is Xaxus going to be able to stop these recalls? If he can do so, this could turn into an inhibitor. He's going to be going in, fires into the queue. He's going to sacrifice himself here, using that Dragon's Descent, keeping everybody away. The Mega Inferno Bomb comes through, but he is so tanky. He's so fast as well with the Blade of the Rune King. This is such good play from Xaxus and the side of KMT, keeping everyone occupied while this middle inhibitor tower falls down. Finally, Ziggs is there, but it's too little too late.
Yeah, they really cannot deal with it at this point. Here comes Miramax on towards Celiver. He has been sped up, so he'll probably try and get out of here. Ace and comes out. Corralius will be blocking it out. Great flash out of Jankos. Will finish him off in the end. He will be going down in the end, though, or will he? Because the Ignite is kicking, but it won't finish him off quite yet. Right now, Alanir trying to chase down Xaxus and Celiver, but they won't be catching up too fast right here, and they will be backing away here. That's an inhibitor for Team KMT.
I can't stress how good that play was from KMT, in particular Xaxus, who, by the way, is their shot caller as well. So he's just said, okay guys, we're in a pretty sticky situation. That last 5v5 fight just did not work out for us because Annie flashed in offensively and died, and therefore we had no follow-up damage. So let's just play the smart game here. Let's play what we're stronger at. That's split pushing. That's what they did, and they get an inhibitor and a dragon off it. Such good play from them.
It was indeed. So right now Janko's trying to clear out all lanes alongside Celiver, who is just backing away as the bottom lane is already pushing. Janko is trying to put some pressure in that top lane, and right after he might just rejoin his team, and they might start and push another lane aside from that middle lane, as of course that middle lane will push itself because there are super minions in there. So for now, Janko is still pushing alone. He is forcing someone of the Ultra Virus team to come over there, but he will be using that sweeping lens to clear out any vision there is and back away in the end.
And the other awesome thing as well, nature that I haven't mentioned before, Xaxus didn't even die. He stopped 4 players from recalling and survived. So again, just huge plays from him. Middle inhibitor is dead, and this could give KMT some breathing room to try and clear out these wards around Baron and potentially give it a shot.
Yeah, indeed. For now, Jankos is maybe looking for a pick here on MBS Law. I do think MBS Law is a little bit too tanky for him at this point. We'll be using that leap to clear out those minions and reset the lane. For now, both teams squaring off in that near that Baron area, rather. And I'm not too sure what would happen here if a fight breaks out, of course. We're just going to have to see. Overpower does have his teleport available, so they could probably fight this. But then again, they are going to have to land a great Tibbers to win it, as the last couple of fights have been slightly in Ultra Virus's favor.
If they can insta-give Ziggs or Jinx with Tibbers, then they're in really good position, especially considering that Ziggs doesn't have Zhonya's Hourglass, and right now Jinx has, apart from her cleanse, no way of getting out of that. Now she is building towards a Banshee's Veil, which is going to be such a big item, but it's still not finished off just yet. So if they can nuke down one of those players, they can make the team fights happen in their favor. But again, it comes down to that peeling? Do they have the peeling champion of Xaxis on Shyvana there in the right position at the right time? I honestly feel their strength going into this game right now, Nature, is to split push.
Yeah, so do I, as they are starting the split push, or are they? Because they are heading towards that top lane with all 5 members and not split pushing at all. Silver looking for maybe something to do on that middle lane, as he will be clearing out those wards, and they have started to siege this top turret. I'm not too sure whether they can fight this in a all-lane fight, but never mind, here they go.
Oh, and that could be Miramax actually falling, because the Ignite Pop does get time though for the ultimate to fly in thick and fast. They manage to pick up the first kill onto Shyvana, and somehow Miramax manages to survive. That was a bit of a failed combination from Overpower though, as visibility going into the bush was not enough to kill Miramax. So jumped in, managed to get off the Deathfire grasp within the Tibbers, but didn't get the Q or the W off in time. Had that have happened there, Nature, it would have been surefire kills. That being said though, they're going for the Baron.
Yeah, they did force Miramax and lots of members of the Ultravirus team to back way. Now MDS will be spawning this one out, but it will be all too little, all too late, as he is forced to back way. He gets feared, he gets blown up by Jankos, no problem for them. Now they are looking for more blood here, as Eleniers is desperately trying to run away, but I don't think Jankos will be picking that one up.
And plus a beautiful cleanse as well in that previous fight from Miramax, cleansing out of the Tibbers stun. But still, the Baron will be falling down plus the kill, so KMT still in the driver's seat, and with this Baron, can they make any more objectives fall down? You can start to see these items coming through right now. 1.6k onto Sullivan, who could very well be finishing off an Infinity Edge next up, or going for the Quicksilver Slash. It really comes down to whether he wants to go for damage or survivability.
Yeah, so for now, Xaxis still trying to counter jungle as much as he can. No real contest being forced by this Ultravirus team. Meanwhile, that top lane Ace and all coming out on Alanir. Janko's trying to finish him off as fast as possible. He will be able to do so and pick up the turret alongside it.
Yep, so kill and also a tower. So just edging further and further ahead right now. Baron is working for them, and that's going to be Alunia dead for 40 seconds. That's pretty significant. Silver's doing quite a bit of damage through the wall. And now looking to actually go onto Crowley. Look at the first damage from Overpower, and that should easily transition into an inhibitor afterwards.
And no problem for them at this point. Now they're rotating over towards that top lane. We do have, of course, Ultravirus standing ready to defend it, but we do have, of course, on the other side, KMT looking really, really powerful. And on top of that, they've got Tibbers, which is such a strong split pushing tool. There it just went. So they will not have that Tibbers available for that pushing for now, and they will just be back away, just buying some items and maybe head back into the fray.
Just goes to show that if Janet is ever just a couple pixels out of position, we'll feel the trauma that is Overpower's burst damage will instantly be going down. So again, it's quite a scary position right now for Ultravirus. Overpower could be finding himself a wild Luna any second now. Actually will not be doing so as Luna backs on off. So taking stock of the position right now, Nature. KMT, they're in a commanding position. They're now at the point, I feel, that if they play the team fights right, they can win in a 5 versus 5 quite comfortably. Overpower is here. Tibbers is going to be up in a few more seconds, but he has been spotted.
Yeah, so they will not be risking it on the side of Ultravirus for now. And Jankos and 2 other members of the KMT team will be finishing off this dragon, no problem. It gets smited and they will be gladly taking that one home. They are sitting on an 8,000 gold lead, which is quite a lot, but nothing Ultravirus can deal with nothing Ultravirus can't deal with at this point.
Yeah, it's a significant goal difference, but it's not game-breaking just yet. The problem that they face is that they're a long way behind in terms of objectives, and that is the one reason they're so far behind right now. And you can see them constantly on the back foot in their own base, and that's allowing H2K or KMT, as the case may be in this matchup, to steal away all of the buffs, all of the neutral creeps, the dragons, and when Baron comes up, they're going to be in prime positioning to take that one down again. So Ultravirus, they're going to get in the position here, Nature, where they have to make a judgment call, whether they go all in and try and make plays or just sit back and lose slowly.
Yeah, for now, Silver trying to rejoin his team, as is Overpower, as they will probably be trying to contest this middle inhibitor, which will probably be respawning quite soon, as the respawn timer has been reduced a little bit in the last 3.14 patch as well. So they are trying to siege this top turret, but here comes MBS Low with the home guard. He might be trying to make something happen here, as Zazas is very deep, takes a lot of damage. No real fights breaking out here, but here comes the Mega Inferno Bomb. Silver survives. Mega Death Rocket will finish him off though, and now they are in the back foot.
That was such a good passage of play from Ultra Vires, but they need to make objectives off this. It's all well and good getting a kill and staving off the onslaught, but they're not really doing anything right now. And that's because they're still definitely respecting the presence that KMT has. Overpower did not use anything in that fight, so still has a tip, is still able to burst someone down in a heartbeat. Also has the flash, so could quickly gain some distance and burst someone down. Looks like they're going to back on off though, and wait the extra 30 seconds for Salva.
Yeah, they certainly will, because I don't think they would want to fight a fight without Silver, as that would prove quite dangerous for them. Overpow and Jankos may be looking for a pick here of, let's say, Corralius or maybe Alanir. Alanir is quite a dangerous situation if he goes too deep here, but he decides against it in the end and just pushes the lane. Overpow and Jankos will probably be pushing that themselves and then heading back, as we do have the inhibitor respawning in a couple of seconds.
Inhib will be back up shortly, but you can see that now KMT are looking to push this bot lane, and this is one of the issues that they found themselves in game number 1. They need to learn from it, that they gave Ultra Vires a chance and they bounced back. Sometimes it's best to just try and force the envelope, and I really like this play. If Shyvana stays at top, allowing the rest of KMT to push bot, this is where their strength lays. This is how, remember, it was looking a bit sticky for them at one point, Nature, and you had that beautiful play from Zazas at top, stopping 4 recalls, allowing the rest of his team to take down the middle inhibitor. They need to do something similar to that, I feel, right now, because they're getting back into that territory where Ultra Vires are looking pretty strong.
Yeah, indeed, that was such a beautiful play, which really turned the game around, or just increased KMT's chances significantly in winning this game. Now we do have Baron coming up again in 40 seconds. That could be a real big contention point, as both teams are rotating over towards that point. And it is looking like we will have Overpower once again standing ready to teleport in there as he starts split pushing at this point. And both teams just facing off in the middle lane. No real fights breaking out for now.
Yeah, it's all about this combo, I have to feel. The Super Mega Death Rocket and the Mega Inferno Bomb from Mazrin and Miramax respectively. If they can land both on top of the carries, they're going to win the team fight. It's that simple, as we saw before. Mega Inferno Bomb's coming through, and that's going to gain some vision. So what that tells me is that basically Ultra Vires don't know the exact timing on Baron. Otherwise, it would be firing at one in. NBS Law very nearly will be falling from the ace in the hole. Here comes Dragon's Descent though. Ignite's been used as well. That will be enough. In fact, it won't be. It's to Dominus and the Eye of the Storm from Corralius. So Dark Descent, the Dragon's Descent, I should say, and the Ignite from Shyvana was not enough, but they're going to force Renekton back, and now Crowstorm comes over from Vanda. They're going to look to pick up this Baron.
Yeah, they are looking to pick that one up. Indeed, it is going down very quickly. They are probably going to take this one, but Mazrin is looking around the side. He might try and contest this one. Corralius comes in. We do have KMT trying to picking that one up. Janko's now trying to chase them down. Doesn't quite succeed in doing so. Wow, Silver doing so much damage, gets Corralius. Mazrin now being chased down. Here comes Janko, slows down Mazrin, picks it up. As we do have Alanir going down as well. That is 3 men dead on the Ultra Vires lineup. That is going to be disastrous for them, as MBS Law is trying to get away desperately as he goes down as well. That is practically a triple kill, I believe, and they will probably be picking up the game. Yes, there you have it. The GG is being called, and we do have Ultra Vires surrendering the game.
That all came from Renekton just getting caught a tiny bit out of position. Yes, he didn't die in the initial engage, but because he was forced back there, Nature, it gave the free Baron to KMT, and they obliged in kind, got the couple of picks afterwards, and from there on in, it was smooth sailing. Still though, Ultra Vires refusing to go down without a fight. That was 43 minutes in duration. It could have been a lot quicker though, from KMT's perspective. That being said though, currently 2-1 in KMT's favour.
And drop.